it would be nice to be able to, when I click on one of these, be able to actually take some information from the first route to the second route. To do that is very simple because all we're trying to do is to pass some data to the second screen. So first of all, we're going to work a little bit backwards. So instead of going to the main route, which is the list view here, we're going to go to the movie list view details. What we need to do first here is we need to create a variable which will receive the information from the first route. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to create a final string. I'm going to say string. Let's call this movie name. Something like that. Want me to do that? Notice we're going to have issues here. If you hover over, you're going to see here that says movie must be initialized because we're inside of a stateless widget and we can't just have a property that is not initialized, because the idea is that when we want to instantiate this movie list view, well, if we have a property in this case, we need to have something in that property, right? If you highlight our property here, you can say option enter. It's going to go ahead and say create constructor for final fields, or in this case just one field. Just click enter, and you notice here it creates a constructor and it passes a few things here. What are we doing? We're setting up this object so that it requires, or in this case optionally requires, a few fields. So anytime you have a stateless widget, in this case here, that's what it is we have to pass, or we should be passing, a key. So what is this key? A key allows Flutter to control how one widget replaces another widget in the tree. So in this case here, we are passing this key to make sure that if need be to be used, if need be, we want to replace a widget with another widget in the tree, then everything is set up. So when we invoke this movie list view, we could pass a new key, the super key from our stateless widget. And then here, you notice we have this movie. Now we have this curly braces around to make sure that these is actually optional named parameters. So that means we could pass something to our movie list view details when we invoke or when we instantiate this object, or we could just pass nothing. But at this point here, at least we know that we have set things up correctly. What I mean by that is, if we go up here inside of our movie list details, the moment I say a letter of some sort, notice now we have this named parameter here, movie name. So I can pass something, right? What is that I'm going to be passing? This movie name is actually, we said, it's going to be a string type, which means we can pass any string here. I can say hello, save like that. At this point here, we will have set our movie name to that string we added, hello, which means we can invoke it anywhere we want in our movie list view details. For now, I can just invoke it here, movie name, like that. I could have also said something like this, that movie name, okay, to say that actually I'm invoking the property of our class here. Either way works, but this is fine as well. So if I save this, just give it a run, just to make sure. And go back here. If you click on this one, notice it says movies hello. I meant to put this, I put it in the wrong place, but you see it works either way. So I'm going to just move this to actually add here in our button. Okay, you can put it anywhere. As you see, it worked, but I want it there. So let's go back. Rambo, notice it says go back hello. And each one that we click is just appending that hello. Now, obviously, we want this to append dynamically information, which means I can attach our title, our movie name, that is. How to do that? I'm going to say movies element. In this case, I feel like using this method of doing things. And I'm going to pass index like that. So just like what we did here, just differently. Okay, if I save this now, notice something cool is going to happen. Go back, click on one of these. It says Rambo because that's what was clicked. That's what I passed. Blade Runner. Go back to Blade Runner. If I click, it goes back. There we go. Let's say Avatar. And it's working. Obviously, we could have created some sort of object as well and pass those objects that way. Things can get a little bit complicated, but as you can see, to pass very simple pieces of information is very easy. We just create, of course, the property type that we want to receive, and then we pass that in our constructor to make sure everything's set up so that when we then invoke our movie list view details, of course, we could pass the movie name or not, it will still work. Because again, we have our parentheses or our curly braces around here, okay, to make sure that these are optional named parameters. Now, notice also if I remove these, okay, look what's going to happen. If I save this, notice we're going to have a problem because that means we have to pass a key. In fact, if I go to Dart analysis, click here, that's what happens. It gives us this problem here because it's saying now, well, you must pass these arguments, otherwise it's not going to work. Okay. Since we want to make this optional, we are going to keep as it was inside of curly braces like that. Save again and run. We should have the same results.